There comes a time in every film photographer's life when you realize that paying a lab $20 per roll to develop your film is actively preventing you from Excuse me. There comes a time in every film photographer's life when they realize that paying a lab $20 a roll to develop their film is actively preventing them from paying rent. So to save money, I spent hundreds of dollars on a do-it-yourself kit to develop my own film. Makes sense. Today we're developing color negative film at home using the Cinestill CS41 kit and a Jobo tank. This is the Duo kit that I purchased. Link in the description below. Not sponsored. I purchased this kit with my own money. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it from start to finish, from mixing your chemicals to scanning your negatives with a ridiculously overpowered high megapixel camera. And most importantly, how to completely avoid the chemical explosion that happened to me halfway through this video. So let's suffer together, shall we? So first you're going to mix your developer. You're going to take 700 milliliters of distilled water and pour it into your mixing cup. Then you're going to put the mixer/heater in, get it stirring, and then pour in your chemicals. You don't have to use the mixer. You can use anything to mix it. I just happen to have this, so that's what I'm using. You don't want to mix your lids up, and you don't want to mix your bottles up. If you get just one drop of Blix in your developer, it will ruin the entire batch. So to combat this, I marked both the lids, developer, and Blix, and I used a piece of masking tape on the bottle itself and marked developer and Blix, so I know the right cap goes on the right bottle. You want to let this mix well. I let it mix for like 4 or 5 minutes, so you do you, boo. You want to rinse all of your equipment thoroughly in between each batch of chemicals you mix up. I'm lucky to live where I have well water instead of city water because I'm sure the town would think that I was making drugs. After it mixes well, you're going to top it off with the distilled water to 1,000 milliliters and then pour it into your bottle. I'm just using a cheap funnel I bought from Walmart. There's a few pieces to this kit that I purchased myself, and this is one of them. It just occurred to me that I should probably be wearing gloves and safety glasses, so there's that. Wear gloves and safety glasses. Don't be like me, kids. Now you're going to mix your Blix. In order to do that, you're going to start with 700 milliliters of distilled water, and you're going to pour in your chemical as it's mixing using the mixer or stirring it somehow. It just needs to be stirred. Alright, now pay close attention here. This is the most important part. You want to knock everything on your counter off into the floor, including your chemicals, your bottles, all of it. Just throw it in the floor, and forget this ever happened. After that mixes for a while, you're going to add in your second bag of chemicals. To do this, I put it in the bottle. So I poured my mixture into the bottle, then added the chemicals, and then I let it set for a few minutes so it could react, because it actually causes an exothermic reaction. So once you mix your second batch of chemicals into the Blix, you're going to want to let it set for 5 minutes. While it's sitting, an exothermic reaction is going to take place and it's going to create heat and steam. So leave the lid off. More on that later. After it sets for 5 minutes, you're going to want to... Is it 5 minutes? Let's see. I've totally missed it. After the time is up, you're going to want to top it off with the distilled water again to 1,000 milliliters or 1 liter. Then you're going to mix it well. I do this by pouring it back and forth into the bottle and the mixing cup and using the mixer. I know this looks like red wine, but trust me, it doesn't taste like red wine. Or maybe it does. Maybe it tastes like really bad red wine. Now's a good time to mention that this red light I have going is purely for effect. There is absolutely no need to have a red light anywhere in your development process. In fact, that's one thing that Hollywood and the movies got wrong. In traditional dark rooms, there is no red light when you're prepping and processing film. It's only when you're exposing or working with the actual prints that you need the red light, because the red light won't actually expose. It doesn't put off enough photons, or it's not the right frequency, whatever, to expose the glass or whatever print you're using. So yeah, if you expose your unprocessed film to any kind of light, whether it's red, blue, green, it doesn't matter, it's going to ruin it.
Let me welcome you to Harvest. Would you mind if we got started? 'Cause I see you as a...
So before I load my film in the dark bag, I go ahead and get my water bath going so it will bring my chemicals up to temperature. You want to start at 105 degrees. That way it can compensate for the temperature dropping as it comes out and as it sits in the developer tank. Now you're ready to load your film. Next we have to load the film onto the Jobo reel inside of a dark bag. A dark bag is essentially a portable sauna for your hands. You put your film, scissors, and tank inside, zip it up, and blindly attempt to ratchet the film onto the plastic reel. Usually this takes 30 seconds. Today my hands decided to sweat profusely, causing the film to stick, buckle, and generally fight me for 10 to 20 solid minutes. Eventually, through sheer willpower and quiet sobbing, I got the film on the reel, placed in the tank, and locked the lid. The film is now safe from light, but not from me. So here's an in-depth look of what's going on inside of the actual dark bag. I'm opening the film canister using this tool. I bought it off Amazon. It was like $7. It works great. You're going to crack open the top of the film canister and then pull the film out. Now you're going to take the scissors and cut the leader off of your roll. This is already done to this roll because it's an old junk roll, but that's what you would do next.
Trying to be somebody else. Heaven knows I do find a piece of paradise hidden in the weeds.
Now you're going to use your scissors and cut the spool off of the roll of film.
It's just you in real life. Heaven knows I do find a piece of paradise hidden in the weeds. But it is paradise.
Now you're going to take your reel, unlock the little red tab,
it's a little more to dance away anymore to just Heaven knows I do.
and you're going to follow the curvature of the film to load it onto the spool. Once you get it started, you're going to just gently ratchet the film onto the reel until it is completely on it, and then you're going to lock it down using the little red tab. I have found this to be the most frustrating part of developing your own film, so just be patient, give yourself plenty of time, don't get in a hurry. You don't want the film to get crinkled up on the reel because then it will not develop correctly or evenly. So just take your time and be patient. Otherwise, you'll crash out as hard as I did. Throw your dark bag all the way across the room, grab your cat, give it a flat top with the clippers, and then have to explain to your child why your cat looks like Will Smith in the 90s. After your film is loaded to the reel, you're going to lock down the little red tab. Now you're going to insert rod A into slot B. That's what she said.
It's so beautiful, you and me.
So this Jobo tank has 2 spools, and it can accommodate either 2 rolls of 35mm film, one on each spool, or 2 rolls of 120 film loaded onto one spool. And now I'll show you how to load the 120 film. It's basically the exact same way. First, you're going to take the spool apart and you're going to adjust it to fit the 120 film size.
Sometimes you need to go and take a step back to see the truth around you. From a distance.
Then you're going to feed the film in and ratchet it just like you did the 35mm. After you get one roll on there, you're going to continue with the second roll right behind it. So you're going to have 2 rolls on the same spool.
In the great outdoors, forever free, you and me, meant to be. In the great outdoors, forever free.
So go ahead and let me know in the comments, on a scale of 1 to hipster shooting a Leica, how cool is it to develop your own film at home? I should go get some mustache cream. Now it's time to process your film. Step 1, you You pour in your developer, and for the Jobo tank, you agitate continuously for the first 10 seconds, and then you give it a gentle rotation every 15 seconds. It's very important to follow your agitation schedule. If you don't agitate enough, then your film will not develop correctly and it will look like this. On a side note, your film chemicals are the only thing you should probably agitate. If you agitate your significant other, they're probably going to leave you. And I mean, why wouldn't they? I would. Once the time is up, you pour the developer back into the bottle. Easy peasy. The next step is the Blix. You're going to gently but quickly pour the Blix into the tank. Then you're going to set your timer for 8 minutes, agitate continuously for the first 10 seconds, and then continue to agitate every 15 seconds for the remainder of the time. Here's a fun science fact that I chose to ignore. When Blix reacts with a developer, it causes an exothermic reaction. It gets hot, it creates gas, and it builds pressure. If you don't burp the lid of your Jobo tank by pressing down on the center to release the gas every few minutes, the pressure will choose violence. So remember to burp your tank, kids. Let's pretend the rest of those 8 minutes went smoothly. After pouring the remaining unexploded Blix back into the bottle, you wash the film under room temperature tap water for about 5 minutes. Here I'm going to do a final rinse with some distilled water, but I found that adding a surfactant to this actually helps reduce water spots on your film. You can get this final rinse from Cinestill. Ilford makes one. There's a few different brands that you can buy, but they are worth every penny. By some absolute miracle, the film actually survived the pressure cooker event. I pulled the negatives off the reel and checked them out to make sure everything developed fully. There are some missing frames and half frames on this roll of film, but that's from the camera. The camera that I shot this roll with was a Leica R5 that had a problem with the shutter. So that's what's caused the problems here. Next, I squeegee off the water and hung them up to dry. When I hang my film up, I place a weight on the bottom so it doesn't curl up on the end, because they will do that. Chapter 5 is scanning your film and digitizing it. And because I'm a man of contradictions, I shoot on plastic camera from the 90s, but scan my negatives using a 61 megapixel Sony a7R5 paired with a macro lens. It's entirely unnecessary and I love it. I use a basic light source and film holder to keep the negative perfectly flat. The one that I purchased was from Cinestill. It's their CS Light Kit. Again, link in the description below. I think it was about 80 bucks. I set the Sony to its base ISO, which is 100. Stop the macro lens down to f8 so the corners are sharp, and snap the picture. In about 2 minutes, I've digitized the entire roll into massive, beautiful RAW files. Before I color correct the files, I do go into Lightroom, into the crop settings, and straighten the image. I still have not mastered shooting these completely straight, so, you know, I do have to crop into them, but that's what I'm doing here. I'm just straightening the image out and cropping into it. That does reduce the resolution of the image down from a 61 megapixel to about a 26 megapixel image, so it's fine. Finally, we take these orange inverted RAW files into Lightroom. Now you could manually invert the RGB tone curves, adjust the color channels one by one, and spend an hour color correcting a photo. Or you can do what I do and use Cinestill's digital presets. You literally just click the button and the software removes the orange mask. It flips the colors for you, a quick tweak to the exposure, white balance, and suddenly you act like you know what you're doing. So there you have it. You can develop your own color film at home. You will save money, you might ruin a t-shirt and a pair of shorts, but holding a physical negative up to the light that you processed yourself is a feeling that a lab just can't give you. So without further ado, let's enjoy the photos.
Feelings from the ashes, eternity in a moment. I'll give it all to
Thank you for watching, and if you've made it this far, I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button. And if you find this kind of content engaging, informative, or just fun, please subscribe to the channel. We'd love to have you around. And until next time, peace out.